Is your app mysteriously falling back to NTLM instead of Kerberos? Don't panic. In this video, I'll walk you step by step through the exact troubleshooting process, and I promise I'll explain it in simple terms so you don't get lost in technical jargon. Let's begin with the basics. Always open your site using the full domain name. If you try with just the IP address or localhost, Kerberos won't even attempt to authenticate. Next, check the clock on your computer. Kerberos is very strict about time. If your machine and the domain controller are more than 5 minutes apart, authentication will fail instantly. So make sure your system clock is in sync. Now, it's time to clear out any old tickets. Open Command Prompt, run the purge command, close your browser, and try the site again. After that, run the list command once more. If Kerberos worked, you'll see a ticket with the HTTP service name for your site. That's your proof Kerberos is being used. You can also check directly in the browser. Open Developer Tools, usually by pressing F12. Go to the Network tab, reload the page, and look at the response headers. The very first challenge should say Negotiate. If it doesn't, or if you only see NTLM, that means Kerberos didn't succeed. If you're not sure, try using Incognito or in private mode. Sometimes extensions or cached data interfere. If it works there but not in a normal window, the issue is with your profile. You can also test another browser, like Edge, Chrome, or Firefox, to see if the problem is browser-specific. DNS is another common culprit. Open Command Prompt and run a lookup or a ping against your site's domain name. If the name doesn't resolve correctly, Kerberos can't work. If you suspect the cache is outdated, flush the DNS and test again. For a deeper look, you can use Chrome's Net Export feature to capture detailed logs. Or, test the site using curl from the command line with Negotiate enabled. If the request comes back quickly with a valid response, Kerberos worked correctly outside the browser. Sometimes the issue is with the account itself. Try logging in as another domain user and see if Kerberos works there. If it does, the problem is likely tied to the first account in Active Directory. Then there's the classic double hop problem. This happens when your app needs to call another backend service or database on your behalf. The first hop works, but the second hop fails if delegation isn't configured. Kerberos can handle this, but it requires extra setup. In Windows, open Internet Options, go to Security, and make sure your site is listed in the local intranet or trusted sites zone. Without this, the browser may keep asking for credentials instead of silently passing them through with Kerberos. Now let's move to the server side. Run a service principal name query for your site's domain. You should see the SPN registered correctly. If it's missing, or if there are duplicates, Kerberos will fail and fall back to NTLM. If your app makes backend calls, also check the service account in Active Directory. Look at its delegation settings. For scenarios that require the double hop, the account should be configured for constrained or resource-based delegation. A Kerberos today expects strong encryption. Make sure the service account is allowed to use AES. If it's still limited to old RC4 encryption, authentication may fail. Next, confirm your firewall isn't blocking the required ports, both TCP and UDP on 88 and 464. If they're blocked, Kerberos won't work and NTLM will take over. Finally, review group policy. There's a setting called LAN Manager Authentication Level. If it's set to force NTLM only, Kerberos won't be used at all. Adjust the policy so Kerberos is permitted. And that's the full troubleshooting flow. Start simple. Use the full domain name, check the time, clear the tickets. Then move through browser checks, DNS, account tests, SPNs, delegation, encryption, firewalls, and policies. Somewhere along the way, you'll uncover why Kerberos isn't working. Fix that, and your authentication becomes smoother, more secure, and way less frustrating. Thanks for watching. And if this helped, don't forget to subscribe for more simple cybersecurity breakdowns. See you next time.